All right. So for some reason, I guess I need to update my browser, but it won't let me actually go to the site that the link sends me to.
What's that?
To pull up the divine warning.
All right, don't worry about it.
So, so I can pull it up on my phone, but I just won't be able to pull it up on the.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't got to share nothing. You don't got to. You don't got to share that. I just wanted you to read it.
Okay.
I got my masterpiece.
Do I count down and we're gonna get started?
You know.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man, nigga, me. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between, baby. You can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama.
This broadcast is brought to you by mypdfbooks.com, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by mindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your herbal essences and check out My Son's Teas, Divinely Prepared, the Tea of Teas. Also, the musical stylings by BH Bay Music. That's bhbaymusic.com. Also, for your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that E-Special everyday Morris drip, be sure to check out morrissachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by Halo Design Pro. And without further ado, we'll introduce to you Sheikh Kareem Goodman Bay.
Peace, family. How y'all doing today?
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, peace, Noble Brian. Peace, peace, family. It's a good day. You know, in our culture, it's our Sunday where we try to give a little science here at the BBT. That's what we do. We're not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. We're not here to do that. We're here to give you our little tittle of more science and what being and understanding who we are means to us. from love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And that's what we're here to demonstrate at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. Our doors are welcome to all brothers and sisters, no matter what cloth you may believe in or think you believe in. We are a school for brothers and sisters that's like-minded, can sit down and come to a medium and get life right and walk out the doors as brothers and sisters. So that's what we're here to do at the BBT. We're not here to separate ourselves. We're here to show you who we are in the world that we live in as Americans, as Moorish Americans, which we choose our identity, which no one can tell us who we are. So with that being said, man, I want to say love to everybody. I definitely want to start off with how the BBT believe. Noble Brian, if you don't mind, and then we'll jump into the divine warning from the prophet, and then we're gonna get into this subject, and we can have a good conversation about it, because when I talk about relationships, it should mean something. So before that gets started, can you give us our Moorish American prayer? Hold on, I gotta jump off.
Allah, Father of the universe.
Peace, Noble.
Peace, Noble Brian.
Peace, Sheep.
Peace, Noble Malik.
Did Maso get in?
I don't know. You were trying to
He
get
said
in?
on here backstage, Nobles, can you let me in?
Oh, somebody got to let him in.
Islam. So for the scientific introduction, the divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle, including the Moor Salat. So scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, God, the creator of the stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh, Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490, BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua the Messiah as he really is and his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is a school. It's not a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, man-made in the image of God, Allah, which is an acronym for arm, leg, arm, head, to find the answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew name of the unity of the spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title, God, as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh, in super and corporal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim, manifested in a physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua, the Messiah. These holy names may seem to be of private interpretation, which we, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, have invented, but through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves of this great error. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and the Son. Here at the BBT, our aims are as follows. 1, to illuminate the student to find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and exists. 2, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua, the Messiah, without distinction of race, nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. 3, to investigate the unexplained spirit law, or so-called law of nature, and the powers latent encourage, and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, modern and practical, and occult science. 5. To remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. 6. To learn, know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. 7. To discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan, and his demons, operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. 8. To earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith, which was once delivered to the sons and children of Yahweh. 9. To make known that Yahweh, from the beginning, ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name Yahshua the Messiah. And last but not least, 10. To inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah, with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I say Islam, amen, and peace.
Peace. Sound like somebody was flying past.
I muted I'm gonna mute this because that window open.
Right out.
Peace, Noble Malik. Y'all had an amazing workout this morning, I'm sure, right?
Islam.
That is love. That's mom right there. Yep. There go mom. Tell mom peace and love, and we love her. And she raised an amazing brother. And I'm glad that he's my brother. So now you got you got a whole bunch of sons. Hey, mom.
School is like Smokey.
Peace and love. Peace and love to y'all in the family.
Hang out around the bathroom or around the locker room because they had showers, and they would go in there and it's 5-part harmony. They were
I hear somebody talking. Oh, I was trying to hear. I said, huh? But yes, Noble Brian, if you have our divine warning from the prophet, would you please read that real fast? Because it goes with where I'm going to go with this demonstration today.
Islam, the divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, warns all Muslims, governor's order, to read proclamation at each meeting, and it reads as follows. I hereby inform all members they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or a group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they must turn in their car and button, cease wearing their fez, turban, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Gratitude. And when we stick with the basics and explain what this is about it's not complex. It's easy that a caveman can do it, pun intended. You don't have to get caught up in all this, a lot of radical things and misconceptions, and then say, oh, you didn't know, or try to build on things that's meaningless. Remember what I'm saying. It's no magic wand. It's no anything with understanding that you are more. It's just understanding that you are operating in this world respectively, knowing who you are. A lot of other things to go with it when we talk about the more science of the matter. But Moors, we are not radical. So that's why myself as a Moorish American and plenty other brothers and sisters, other sheiks, other teachers, that's why you can never, for myself, and I just give my humble opinion, which may mean nothing to anyone. I'm from, I went through the temple and things. Of course, I have education, undergrad, business degree, and a master's degree. That doesn't make me a righteous man. My heart makes me righteous. But I did take the time to go under a form of discipline for myself. And then dealing with the Moorish Science Temple of America, when I say it's only one temple, it's only one prophet. I didn't want to recreate or create another Moorish Science Temple of America. I wanted to create a school. That's why we are the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. A body of brothers from all backgrounds to come and learn without no man-made things, how can I call it, pageantry and clandestine things over you, like somebody can nationalize you and denationalize you and try to make you something that they know they don't have the power to do. And be able to explain it eloquently with a silver tongue and then give that individual the research and the science to not only be confident in it, but to have it for themselves, to have it in their hand to where it's no excuse anymore of doing a thing illegal or saying you didn't know as an adult. Why? If you have it, just say that you want to break the law. And it is people that do that. Just like you got so many people that go around trying to get law cases and all that. And you would think that's all Moore's doing. Oh, yeah, man, I got this court case. A court case for what? Oh, I'm suing them. Oh, man, they did it. Or I got put over and I this cop, do he know this and the amendments? No cop don't know that. That he ain't no prosecutor. No. He's a patrolman. And anything you talk about, you don't know. The whole thing is for you to go home. You got a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will to be used you in a court of law. Nothing you say to no police or nobody can help you out in your case. Nothing. Unless you get immunity. Period. So, as we do this demonstration, are y'all still with me? That's one. Okay. Because somebody got to stand for some things when we out here operating in the world. Our parents, our aunties, you see Malik at a family function, and a lot of our parents and other people's parents, they may have watched videos of I'm gonna say these characters that call themselves Moors acting a God-blamed fool, doing some of the most outlandish things, So I just want to give a little tittle and a little, how can I say, a prerequisite of nationality being the order of the day. Of course, it's so much to go with this topic, and we can talk about this, from so many levels. But at some times in life, no matter if you call yourself a Christian or if you call yourself a Moor or Al Islam or Egyptian this or a Hebrew Israelite and all that, I get that. At some point, us as a people, we have to come to some agreement, to some binding understanding. We have to, because we're not using any different books. So a lot of times when a lot of people hit me up and they say, Sheikh, would you please speak on a specific topic? I say, absolutely. This what the people want to hear. Like gospel is so much, it's giving you confidence of what you're doing as well. And sometimes, more times than not, a lot of Moors are operating totally under a false pretense. And so we're going to talk about that. So we're going to give a Moorish perspective today, because we have to come to, just like when I say the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple is a school, I welcome all brothers to come in and study with us. This is what I'm telling my brothers and sisters. I've had the privilege and my adult lifehood for this to be my profession. I went to school for this. I debated professors, Grand Canyon University. I have a lot of allies and things. That's what life is about. When I be telling Moors, I said, you're supposed to be in the world. You're supposed to be active. You talk about you ruled the world and you did all these great, amazing things in the first century and then all this. Okay, well, were you telling me either we digressed? Because if we say we progressed, then it's some things that we should be agreeing on as a people. As a people, what I'm trying to say. Because as a people, this is it's so relevant today. As a people, we jump behind so many banners. We jump behind a political banner. We jump behind a team banner per se. But have you looked at this with a positive perspective to say, that makes sense? When we talk about the Jews and European Jews, Albion, Tralodite, whatever name you want to, a title you want to use, did the say yes, and we can say yes or no as I'm speaking because I want brothers to say, yep, I see that, or you don't see that, and then we can have a discussion. But didn't the European Jews fight for their so-called Jewish nationality? Yes or no?
Yes.
Not only fought, if you say anything about them negative, they say it's anti-Semitic, right?
Absolutely.
Huh? I mean, come on, this should be agreed across the board. It's more than you in here, Brian. We should. That's why I said we come to an understanding of agreement is one. I'm coming from a positive perspective. What I'm building on something. Let's reverse. I said European, Tralodite, Albion, Jew, whatever you want to call them. I say, didn't they fight and die and for their Jewish nationality per se, right?
Correct.
And if you say something about them, they'll say it's anti-Semitic, right?
Also correct.
And myself as a historian, when I'm telling you, a lot of I've come from the Jewish encyclopedia. They'll tell you exactly who they are. We won't even have to get into a deep discussion about the title anti-Semitic, because I can trace it to where it came from where the term is made up from scholarship, and no one can be upset. So what I'm saying is, let's get back to the subject at hand. If a group of people fought for that nationality, what's wrong with us fighting? Not when I say fight, not knocking each other out, but fighting in an aspect of understanding and coming together for your Moorish identity.
I don't think nothing is wrong with us doing it. I just think we just got to do it.
Because now I'm not talking Moorish Science Temple of America. Listen closely. It was Moors before our prophet. I give our prophet for bringing a temple. But you had Moors from all over the globe.
Yes, sir.
You have in the chosen ones. I showed y'all the one that saved Neville Goddard, the European thinker, the peace be among his spirit that a lot of people hold heavy. Neville Goddard, the Ethiopian rabbi, saved him. That's the same brother that I showed y'all in the book, The Chosen Ones. You know,
Yeah.
The brothers of the East, the brothers from the East that wore the turbans, the mystical East. Where where were they at? In the churches, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then what you see on there with the more Zionist Jews or the more Zionist Jews right in front of their temple. So what do people be talking about? That be our prejudiced eye, because we don't have an eye. And I mean, who do you think the Jews are? Eber, the Igbo. When I always say one nationality, many cultures, we talk about the Zulu, Credo Matua. When we talk about Sheikh Mordine and the Mordines, and they under a different type of Islam, Sufism. What are we talking about? We have digressed, Noble.
Mm-hmm.
You see in the book, The Black and Moor, when you see at this conference and the prophet got all those different Moors from all different sciences there. You see that created the mystic shrine.
Yep.
This is what I'm trying to explain. We have to get out of that biased eye and stop putting Allah, the spirit of the creator, in the box. We have to stop doing that. Everybody grabbing onto they little tittle of it. But just because we are Moors, when I say that's who you are, your nationality. Now, the science and understanding a form of Islam, or forming all the holy books, understanding any holy book. You know, when we talk about more science, we're not under no certain religion where we miss the essence of the rest. We're under the triple rose. And if anybody that understand more science, you have to agree, or a person just needs to continue to come learn and say, it's just something that I need to add value to. That's all. If it's nothing for you, then all a person to do was leave. But if it's something here for you, then I will be attentive. I will be like, hey man, I have these brothers. Hey man, boom, let's build. Let's see what we got in common. When we talk about a people. So let's continue to go on. But the teachings say that I have put law in your hand and my word in your mouth, and you are to tell them what to do, and they are to obey. Tell them my law. Hold up me before them. If you will hold me up before them, I will draw me unto you. So I just want to give that little quote. But there's only one prophet. There's only one temple. And then a lot of people may ask, why do we have all these splinter groups calling themselves more science temples of America? And these are questions. I'm not saying nothing about it because everybody have these questions. I knew somebody just came from Chicago. They was like, Sheik, it's a whole bunch of temples in Chicago. And she was like, them Negroes, they don't know each other? She was like, what's going on? I said, hey, you just left from Chicago. You just explained it. Come on. So that should tell you something in your head. How can it be that many temples in a city and all them brothers, they ain't figured it out yet? And that's why I respect all other people, like my Al-Islam partners. They don't have 3, 4, 5 temples in no small demographic, in no area. Noble Brian, say in a 30-mile radius, say a 20-mile radius, you got 4 temples. For what? That's a waste. That ain't even economically smart. You understand what I'm saying, Brian?
Yeah, that's absolutely a waste. Y'all could be saving money by being in one temple for one thing. That's just, like you say, economically smart. You know what I'm saying? More economically savvy. Mm-hmm. But what would that many temples in that small vicinity really be getting accomplished? If y'all really working together, like you say, y'all should be up under one roof.
Gotta have no grand. We got a grand meeting once a year. We all in one area. We need to come together. We need to merge. We need to conglomerate. That's why I said being someone that's leading a body, it's more than just reading a whole bunch of books and then it's quoting a whole bunch of old stuff. We're talking about finance. We're talking about economics. We're talking about building. We're talking about children. We're talking about the clock of destiny. We're talking about educated. We're talking about skilled tradesmen, thinkers, a body, a nation, a group of people. Understand this. So, why do we have so many of these more science temples of America? That's why I said we a school. Read our Bible. We are the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and school. But you got to see a lot of these groups. You don't know where the authority lies. And these should be questions. And when you start having conversations about things, we should have conversation about what's inside, not about what's outside. We be having too much conversation about a whole bunch of old TikTok stuff. Oh, you ever seen this? Blow your mind. In 1858. Yes, okay. After we get out of history class, then what class we going to? Damn, we got all our classes is history. Do you feel what I'm saying, Brian?
No, I definitely do, because something at some point has to be applicable and not just a blast from the past of trying to remember what you used to be doing or how great you were instead of being great.
Understanding what's been done and giving homage to what's been done and keeping it alive.
Islam.
Like this ain't no In Living Color stuff. Y'all remember when one of the Wayne's brother on Living Color, when he was in jail and he was dressed up like the Muslim, he was using all those heavy words.
Yeah, but you in jail, you in here.
Just said a whole bunch of stuff and just gibberish. After all that, I'm like, yeah, I hear you. And it's good to know some stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's always good to know some stuff. But after the stuff, if now what?
Apply
But
science.
yes, it's due to a lack, a lot of times, of scientific study on nationality. Just like when we study and we say we a group of brothers, we can give and share things that some people may not have. You can't walk out the door if you say, if we under a certain discipline and we have divine creed and bylaws and etc and this and that, and then we start showing you how things, not only how that's set up, how our school is set up and all that, and then after you get all that, you still say, oh, no, 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 no. That's something mentally messed up. That's cognitive. That's what we call it, Noble Brian.
Cognitive dissonance.
This is what I be saying. So we be willingly breaking the law in this science. It's no way. Noble Brian. It's no. How, this is what I. Okay, let's deal with something. Nationality, which the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. Well, nobody talking about nationality like that in that manner before Noble Drew Ali. No, that's why all so-called misnomer black, so-called God man in the flesh, like Farrakhan them, when you pull them to the side, they talk about the prophet. In Farrakhan on Founders Day, how he gave the credit to Noble Drew Ali, bringing this type of Islam to the North American Negro. This is no slander to it. I showed y'all on Noble Drew Ali 135th birthday, where the European Scottish Rite Mason was giving homage to Noble Drew Ali. And he was making a mockery, like, why do the Nation of Islam and the Moors fight, blah, 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 when they know this, pulling out all the documents. And y'all got the document, where the document was passed out to the nation in the 30s and the 60s. Y'all have proof in y'all hand. Hell, as you saw Elijah Pooh Bay with the feds on, this ain't no disrespect. You got to start asking some questions internally to see where it fell at. Not with nobody taking it today, doing all this fraudulent stuff, this sovereign citizen crap, which is an oxymoron. We ain't talking about that BS. We talk about doing things the right way. Y'all with me?
Islam.
Okay. So, our prophet gave us the phrase that nationality is the order of the day. You know, too many belief systems with no facts to determine a right understanding. We're not talking about in the spirituality, because we should be clear on that aspect. If we not, then we can have that's a whole nother teaching. But thus bringing about a misunderstanding of what the Holy Prophet established. An idea that the prophet did not fully establish all it takes to save us here in North America, because it did. And everybody that you can sit to, if it wasn't valid, how can all the mayors in 2012 got the proclamation declaration and signed off and dedicated certain days as Moorish American Day? Go to your city hall with a sound voice and ask them what were Negro, blacks, and colored called before the Civil War. And I bet you they'll tell you. And I bet you the mayor office got the proclamation declaration telling you us that we Moorish Americans. Hell, it's the Moorish Science Temple of America right here in my city of Flint, Michigan on Martin Luther King Avenue. This is what I'm telling my brothers and sisters. We have digressed. It's time to come together. But bringing a misunderstanding, you know? So, and this brings about a falsehood because of his demonstration from, we can say, the 1930 and, you know, his short time, 29. You know, we can say that little period. And the mere ideas of man becoming paramount and looking for a redemption out of a state of being a second-class citizen, a corporation per se, statutory citizen, a debtor, a person, because anybody in law can tell you when they switched you from this, that, and the other to person, it didn't change. It just changed who hands you was in. I'm telling you. Black, colored, Negro, or African American. And you know that all those are misnomers. We should understand this. This is elementary school. And in addition, the lower self perpetuates this illusionary state of thinking. How? When you say, I can do my own thing, which a lot of people are doing today, or thinking you can take a little of this so-called more science when the people say, oh, I'm an El or I'm a Bay, or the temple, or some of the old temple names you see people using like the Ali or the Day, and go out and do your own thing. How? But you be breaking the law. Startup clubs, startup corporations, and when they say 501c3 corporations, and I like to clear things up on an aspect as well, because when some people write things, I say, yeah, I hear you, but then the Moore Science Temple of America, I always have to be clear, they do have a tax exempt ID. So when people be throwing things out, and I say, well, we got, and they be like, well, how? I say, well, a document was formed. I mean, you should. What document you talking about, She? Man, that's what I'm be telling you. It's simple. The Moore Science Temple of America has a tax ID number. These is facts. If anybody want to disagree with it, that's on them. I'm not here to argue with no one. I'm telling you why a lot of people, a lot of things that's being done is from maybe a misunderstanding. And a lot of people that's doing it to a lot of people know that, but use the people as crash dummies to see if it can work for them. And we don't do that. We don't send people in no burning houses. So, as I explained, so you can be man, you can get resolved or play hero. You cannot do your own thing. And that's what I tell a lot of Moors. Doing your own thing is not why Allah's prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and when people talk about, oh, Noble Drew Ali wasn't this, that, and the other. Okay, well, in more science, a prophet is an angel, is a person, a man, woman, etc., clothed in the flesh with a divine message, with a warning. If you read your 101s, it's clearly in there. So if any more have a problem with that, or if someone's not with that, rocking with that understanding, they shouldn't be in here. Because why all of a sudden do a group of people that's melanated? Why we got other people, no matter if they the same color as you, have a problem with your prophet and your angel in the flesh that gave a divine message look like you, that you were able to touch? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Understand this. You can go to the prophets. You can go to the prophet headstone. Isn't that a wonderful thing that this man done in the flesh and left behind? Because when he came to do this understanding, and when it in the flesh, and as even today as we go forward, we still have a form of mental slavery. And when we say Euro, I don't say it in a form of disrespecting a European, but when we talk about Euro, I put it in the mind state of one of my books I gathered and compiled, Eurocentric psychology or Eurocentric propaganda. It can be Negrocentric psychology as well. Hell, they both the same if you ask me. That stagnated a lot of our brothers and sisters' progress. And just like me and my dad was talking about, even in the field of academia and the job market, when somebody melanated that may look like you, it be our own brothers and sisters that don't pull each other forward. We try to call it a conflict of interest. But other nationalities, they look forward to do this. They send their certain type of people, kids to school to come work for my uncle. You're going to do this to keep that pipeline, to keep that funds coming in. The same concept with Haile Selassie when he sent a lot of his Abyssinian young men to the States. They got their education. They went back to their states and ran the world. You see, this is what I'm saying, what we continue to do. We still have time, We definitely still have time. Understand this. But a lot of our brothers and sisters have no knowledge of self, and therefore will remain a slave to everybody else. Noble Drew Ali was not even doing his thing, being Allah's holy prophet, like myself and others. When I say a holy prophet, you a prophet. You in the flesh. We all are nobles. In that time period, and even today, as the spirit goes on, and you and I, was sent to bring us everlasting gospel of Allah and save us from the wrath of Allah, the awful day, which is sure to come. You have to understand the parable and the symbology. When we talk about the wrath of Allah, what? When the light cut off. We ain't talking about the end of the world. What? The wrath, when the wrath of Allah come, that's when the light come off. That's when you being disconnected. That's the wrath. That's it. We didn't say what the time. What we saying, we know the time is gonna surely come. You definitely can bet your money on that. But the prophet left his footprints. We want to leave our footprints clearly on what we believe and how we take this science dearly to continue to lead the way. That's why when I tell people, I say, man, you don't want to play the no court game with the powers that be, especially if you fully don't understand, because you can't use that in a court of law. There is no excuse of not knowing the law in a court of law. You can't go in there playing. And this is what I try to tell so many young people that be intrigued with just a whole bunch of barbershop talk. I say, don't get intrigued with the lingo and the glitz and glitter and think that's going to get you something, but it'll get you locked up. This is a collective, wrapped up in the term nationality and secured under religion. And people don't know the checkmate of that. The religious laws trump everything. People don't even understand it. I said, are you? I said, huh? I said, clearly you have a misunderstanding of what you talk about. And why don't you want to have a clear understanding? Oh, then I know that's why, because brothers be bragging. They dropped out of school in the 3rd grade, empresses and nobles, so they brag on that. So I said, you clearly don't want to be around me. And we brag on that. That's popular. That's popular now. Bragging how stupid we are. Like, really? Education is dumb or been seen as being white. Well, I already told you I'm white. How about that? Stay with me because I want to make this clear. But you have to see that interconnection. And then you have to have an in-depth understanding and made it the order of the day to show its property for us to understand. That's what I tell people. I say, this ain't just more science. It's not no al-Islam. It's not. It's not no disrespect of no laws and the prophets. How can it be? If you listen to a true map and a guide, he's going to give you a clear understanding to your misunderstanding. And I guarantee you can walk out with your heart being full, because we're not dissing nothing. Some people have a misunderstanding of the lingo or the linguistics. And some people just are lost in mistranslation. And that's just a fact, But the nationality is the order of the day, Has anyone ever asked the question to your sheikh or your group leader or whatever when you in your groups? If you did, great. What did people come up with? What concepts did brothers come with? We supposed to be brainstorming. See, they pay so much in the work field for people to come together and brainstorm. Because when you brainstorm, just like the gospel say, when 2 or more gather, there I am. So when brains come together, it's a lot of beautiful things that can happen. Understand that scientific, that equation with that. 2 heads always better than 1. ETC. But our prophet, Noble Ali, and with the divine ministries of the cabinet, gave out calling cards. Listen to the science, what I said. To the Asiatics of North America. He said to the Asiatics of North America. So that means I'm giving out a calling card. What? Okay. Hey, that means I'm giving out an APB. And I might be putting it in the form of a card. To the Asiatics of North America, which told us to come all ye Asiatics and learn the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not colored. ETC. Didn't say nothing about one come on because they owe you something and your birthright is some land and it's not another and it's not another and it's something that you can file. A person having to misunderstand it, you know, because you are not color, etc. And then you get to filing and become a paper terrorist, and then not only get you in trouble, you get your whole family in trouble. You lose everything. You get walked out your job because you don't know some places is a right to work state, and certain things that you just don't have a clear understanding, and you're an alien outside of the parameters of the law, and that's on your default, and you can't be mad at no one. But anyway, and you must claim a free national name to be an American citizen. Don't get all caught up with that. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then that's why people need to come together and have a clear understanding instead of hangmanning themselves. Because if you're in a court of law and you start using a whole bunch of slang words and don't understand what I'm saying, you're going to lose. Because it's a certain language that you have to have. It's a certain way that you have to write when you when you defending yourself in that type of a sport. You can't break the rules. I hear a lot of stuff in the background. You can't break the rules. You can't break the rules when you enter that arena. And that's what I be trying to tell brothers. I be saying, brothers, calm down and relax. It's certain rules that go with what you're doing. Did you get your divine calling? This was the first document that the person got from their prophet or their sheep. This is what I showed y'all. I hear something in the background. You know, if one would read their calling, your card, and define the subject matter, nationality, a lot of one's own doubts would stop. I told everybody here, I'm gonna always be transparent. Always. When I first started diving into more science, when I met a lot of the brothers out here, and I had my temple, and my wife can attest to it, I had my own metaphysical temple, my own, the so-called grand sheiks, they ain't had no building. And people before that was coming to me like, Sheik, I mean, right then they were like, minister, don't deal with them group of people. They were like, we're not saying the science not right. We were like, we're talking about those group of people. Even my dad seen it, you know, but make a long story short, I don't blame it on people. You know, I blame it on their lack of wanting to get it right, you know, and the lack of not wanting to get it right. You just go deeper and deeper into, you know, the crazy stuff. But let's deal with some basics. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without a doubt of contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers unless his powers extends beyond the great universal creator of Allah himself. That's in your Moorish Quran. Y'all should know it. I shouldn't even have to give it to you. Everybody that studied a Moorish Quran should know it. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree. It's in your Moorish Quran. It even talked about that in the Bible as well. And people, well, what you mean? When you read Leviticus in the Bible, what is it? Leviticus 25 and 10? You tell me what you get out of that. So I'm using things for educational purposes only. I don't give law advice. That's not my motive. I never tell nobody what to do in their situation. I tell you the best thing you to do is figure out, get all the information and use things for educational purposes, but defend yourself in the way that you feel you should do it. So with that being said, let's proceed. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree. So when you read nationality, which a lot of more is Black Law's dictionary, and I said we just using this just to define a word. That's the only reason why I'm using this. Clearly, because I ain't never seen nobody use no black laws to defend nobody in the arena of law with no black laws term book. You got black laws all the way up to black laws 10. I got a whole bunch of black laws dictionaries. But anyway, nationality, that quality or character which arise from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or state. Nationality determines the political status, especially with reference to allegiance, while domicile determines your civil status. Nationality arises either by birth or naturalization. Nationality affords the state jurisdiction over the person and affords the person the protection of the state. The two most important parts of this particular definition to understand from a scientific eye is domicile. And the most important from these two are political status. You know, some facts about nationality. Let's deal with a few bullets. One, a political status defined by the Constitution, which is a political document. Synonymous, so you got to know what synonymous defines. Synonymous with being a national within statutory law. Statutory law gives one the right to political association, gives one constitutional citizenship. Let's see, where we at? It's associated with a specific country. It's called a political citizen or a citizen of the United States in a political sense by the courts, you know, to distinguish it from a statutory citizen. When you see precedent in law case, Powell versus the United States, you know, nationality therefore is principal relationship that connects an individual to a state. So when you look up political status and begin to connect the dots, so if you want to use Black Laws, the 6th edition, when you use these to just define words, you know, not for legal purposes, but for educational purposes only, political, pertaining or relating to the policy or the administration of government, state or national, pertaining to or incidental to the exercise of the functions vested in those charged with the conduct of government, of or pertaining to exercise of the rights and privileges or the influence by which individuals, you know, of a state. Now, remember when we talk about what in a state booklet, why it's good to be under the religion and understanding all this, because all that has to do with state, nation. But I keep telling people the religious laws trump everything, but they be on deaf ears. They be on deaf ears. It still don't click. But a state seek to determine or control its public policy. They ain't even hear that. Having to do with organization or action of individual parties. Political status gives one political rights. Political rights are those which may be exercised in the formation of administration of the government, rights of a citizen, established or recognized by Constitution, Act 6, which gives them the power to participate directly or indirectly in the establishment or administration of government. Understand what that's saying. The Holy Prophet was reported as saying, I'm going to leave, no disrespect, the European here just long enough to teach you how to run a government. So if you're seeing something that's being ran, the prophet is telling you, you need to model something. Like, look at what's going on. So if something that's going on and displaying and something that you believe in or entity that you believe in, whoever it is say, man, this is how things should be ran and you can run it in the right manifestation, then that should tell you something. The Holy Prophet was reported as saying that statement. So in addition, it all starts with understanding nationality. Nationality gives one political rights. You got to understand that. Within the political rights is the right of association, to associate with what? Your political community. Think about that power. The right to freedom of association and freedom from compelled association. First Amendment to the Constitution. That's the religious rights of indigenous people. You have the right not to assimilate with other groups. You have the right to keep your culture. You have the right to use public this. You have the right to keep this, that, and the other. You have the right to have your teachers and blah, blah, blah. You have the right to wear your cultural regalia. You have the right to write your own books, etc. All those beautiful things that come with a clear understanding, doing things the right way. Hell, they just had Indigenous People a day last week. Associate.
We have the right to not assimilate.
Come on, Brian. This what I be telling people. What the laws tell you, you have the right for your culture. What are we talking about? We ain't here disrespecting no one. Every other group of people can be proud. The European Jew can be their culture where they have their hair curly cued. You know, they wear their yarmulke. Or the Islam can be who they going to be. The Muslim, and it's no disrespect to no one. But you, brothers, as a Moorish American, you got to be proud of who you are, because we're not separating ourselves from our brothers on both sides of the family. It can be explained eloquently. And when I'm not finna do that to my brothers and sisters, you know, to no one. We just have a misunderstanding across the board, you know. But it gives you your political right, you know. That's what it does. You know, those political rights is the right of association. You know, First Amendment, the Constitution, association is the freedom to do what? Choose. Only adults, only people that know, adults know how to choose. You choose where you domicile. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. That's in your Moorish Quran. Anybody, that's why I be asking brothers, I say, how can you disagree with what I'm saying, man? Oh, so you ain't never studied your Moorish Quran. No, I don't even got the Moorish Quran. So how can somebody deal with somebody and they ain't even dealt with the divine, nobles? Because the divine come first. You shouldn't even be doing business with them. If they don't want to learn, if they don't want to have a clear understanding, because they're being misguided. It's just like seeing a child being misguided. The child is innocent. It's the guiding of the child. Am I right about it?
Islam.
You know? So you got to pay attention when you choose your associations, your political community, which is determined by your domicile. In this context, you have chosen your civil status per se, or your legal status per se. And at this stage, if one has proclaimed his or her nationality with the lawful government, aka when you do it through the temple, this was when the temple was right. I'm speaking of a time, but you can always claim your Moorish American identity. That's not hard. Now, I said Moorish identity, that don't make you a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, but the Moorish Science Temple of America don't make you a Moor. Did you catch what I just said? You just become a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, but the Moorish Science Temple of America don't make you no more. Did you hear what I just said, brothers? You were born a Moor. You just didn't know that. Are y'all with me?
Facts.
Indeed.
Definitely born no more.
And that's why we created the school. It's just like almost y'all on what is that? What is that movie, y'all? And they had all those kids, and they was under, and the head guy was in a chair. He was disabled, but he flew around. He was bald headed, and they had all them kids. You know.
Oh, about the X-Men movie.
Yeah, it's this just like this. That's what this is. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Islam.
It's only for a special group of people. You know, think about what I'm saying in the dynamics of what we're doing. When you can sit and have a clear thought process of that, be like, wait a minute. You telling me I'm a Moor? Yes, you a Moor. You a Moor by birth. Now you might not be a part of the temple. You know what I mean? But you definitely a Moor. I mean, without a doubt. And I can't make you that or tell you're not. And when we have that understanding and understanding of what the Moorish Science Temple of America did, the prophet brought something to us to show us, okay, if we all can come together, everybody in your area can come under these things. But that's why we created a school. For brothers can come together and we can have school identity. We can be a group of people, understanding doing things the right way, give homage to, because everybody ain't part of the Moorish Science Temple of America per se that you're going to run across of. But you want to have those ones that maybe went through that discipline or have a clear understanding. But no matter what group you're a part of, I tell every brother and sister like this: no one can tell you that you're not a Moor. If you want to learn the science, our doors are always open. That's what I really want to say. But let's proceed because we got a little bit more time and we're gonna get out of here.
Yes, ma'am.
But nationality gives one a political right. All those. That means political community. To associate with all your friends, all your family. You know, I just broke that down how that's in the Moorish Quran. But it's also voluntary enter into. When I say a lot of brothers, they don't understand the term of legal, you a willing obligor. What you mean? Okay, whatever. When you don't, a lot of times we don't pay attention. When you choose your association, when you choose a political community, which is determined to your domicile, you have your civil status, legal status. And if you have proclaimed your nationality, government, aka this is what they say through the Moorish Science Temple of America, through our Prophet Noble Drew Ali in Chicago, it is lawful branch temple. So what I'm trying to say, when this type of when the Prophet was in the flesh, you were able to go to the temple and claim your Moorish identity per se. This is what, just like if we was writing our story and we say, yeah, man, you can come to the Burning Bush Tabernacle, Science Temple and School and be who you are. You understand you are more. We have school ID. You claim who you are. This is what she was bringing to us. Not bringing no dogma, not saying it's contingent on this. Maybe some now today you got maybe, now when I say maybe, I'm saying I know not all, but some, you will go to and they'll play politics with you to act like you got to pay all this money to do this. And so I know a lot of things are not going to be able to happen like it did. So it's other ways to beat that. Because when the prophet not right, remember the temple is not right. Understand that. So that's what I want to have in your mind. But anyway, let's proceed. So, yes, we talk about the Moorish temple and we give credit to what the prophet done. But we the people, well, this is yet to be determined. Let us define a few more terms before we move on. Domicile, a person's legal home. That place where a man has his true fixed and permanent home and principle established, and to which whenever he is absent has the intention of returning. You can research the case, Smith versus Smith, 206. I don't want to stay all in it because when you come to class, we give these things out. I'm going over the documents, but you can have them in your hand and then you can go over them and we can always come and correct things. Or when I say correct, I mean add value too, because there's nothing to correct but a misunderstanding. But anyway, generally, physical presence within a state and the intention to make it one's home are the request of establish a domicile therein. A person may have more than one resident, but only one domicile. So let's deal with this. A third prophecy is attributed to Muhammad himself and may have formed the basis for the prophecies. It is related. Related that Muhammad was asked about the end of the world and what would happen thereafter to his community. Muhammad replied that the world will come to an end. Listen to this. When the most perverse and worst people appear at a time when a part of his community will still be in an island situated in the extreme west. The conflict between Islam and Christianity will end with a return to the law of the Moors. There will be much cloud in that year, scarcity of water, trees bearing extra fruit, and other signs, etc. So we always, just like when I talk to my Islam brothers and sisters, and in their paper, they say since 1930, Fire Muhammad is the Ma'idah for the Muslims and the Christians. I didn't say for just no Muslims, it said for the Muslims and the Christians. And if any of my Muslim brothers get on here and act like they don't know what I'm talking about, I'll be like, man, come on. They not on here conflicting with each other. He said he's the Messiah for the Christians and the Muslims. And then when we talk about the prophet, that was before a lot of people time be talking. And then when we say, well, Fire Muhammad this, but we're not going to give credit to Noble Drew Ali, it's an insult. It just is, you know? So let's proceed a little bit more. I said, I'm not going to stay too longer than an hour and like 30 or a little bit less than that. But I want you to have these studies and these documents since it rather than the actual resident of the controls jurisdiction of the taxing authority and determines where a person may exercise, you know, their privileges, rights, or voting. You know, you might stay somewhere else, but if your residence where you domicile, that's where you vote at, etc. Speaking on taxes for all who are reluctant about taxes. See, I'm gonna touch on that a little bit because I told y'all, you cannot get all emotionally thinking you finna get something free and somebody playing a whole bunch of word salad games with y'all. And then when I show y'all precedent in law cases and doc numbers of people that done went to prison and then lay all the brothers to prison and try to hustle a whole bunch of old people and people that don't know nothing for millions of dollars. And then in the same breath say, well, Moors don't pay taxes and this, and that, and the other. Okay, well, if Moors don't pay taxes, why are you trying to file and have your people file fake tax claims for millions of dollars? Are y'all rocking with me? Peace be among the brother soul, though. I'm just keeping it 100. There's no disrespect to no one. It's just what it is. When I tell people the 10-10-9-9 is no trust fund at the Rainbow, it's not. It's just a religious affidavit. And if you want a copy of it, you can go to the CCRD, which is the county clerk and recorder of deeds, and ask for one. If you want one official with the seal on it, you just got to pay a certain amount of dollars. It's just like that. So don't let nobody come at you after today with no Eurocentric, Negrocentric propaganda. Point blank. But anyway, let's talk about that. Taxes a little bit on this, context. Being domiciled and not nationality is what imputes a status under the tax code and a liability for tax. Tax liability is civil liability that attaches to civil statutory law, which attaches to a person through their choice of domicile. Your per capita tax card is very important. In some states, they don't even have tax on earned income. You know, to be able to prove you pay taxes. Now, I'm gonna break this little piece down because my nobles here, I want y'all to understand the importance of what I'm gonna say because I don't think I'm gonna stay too long. When I get to this part, that's when I'm gonna stop because it's gonna be important. We're gonna open the door for a couple questions. Y'all should catch that. If y'all didn't catch that, I hope y'all catch what I'm getting ready to say because it's getting ready to be very vital. And it's to any other group of a body of brothers and sisters that no one can tell them who they are as a body of people. Understand doing things the right way. And I said, I never say nobody can't do things and create their own thing, but you don't have to put it under the form of saying it's the same thing as that, and it's not operating as that. What I'm telling you, when you do things, it's the right way to do it and model certain things. If the prophet say model, no disrespect, that he's going to leave the European here long enough to show you how to run a government, then I say, well, model these certain things, etc., to do this as bodies of brothers and sisters today. Because I love all different house of thought and people. It's so many different people all over this globe, you know? So no one can tell a group of people who they are or who they not. So let's look at this little aspect. Check this out. Where people be tripping. To be able to prove you pay taxes to your lawful civil government where you domicile, those with eyes to see and ears to hear should be turning in about their taxes situation, asking you, are you they take a religious body politic? Can they tax a religious body politic? And see, these is questions that I bring to people that be in these groups and they don't even be catching what I'm saying. So let's deal with it. I want you to look that up. Because I told you, religious bodies are tax exempt for the federal government. Religious, scientific, charitable, etc. So if that's the case, you should be part of that religious body. How can you be part of that religious body? By being a what of that religious body? By being a what? Huh?
A member.
Duh. You see? Declaration of Human Rights. That's why I be saying no one can arbitrarily explain these facts when things are done in the right manner. Let's proceed because we got a little bit more time. This is a beautiful demonstration. Gratitude, Brian. Gratitude. So, yes. So, what about an agent, aka missionary, from the body politic? When you see the form 10-9, that 1099, y'all know what I'm talking about. Our authority. No one can force you to acquire or retain a domicile anywhere, including within the federal zone, or to accept the civil status that attaches it to statutory citizenship, 14th Amendment citizen or resident. It is voluntary. So domicile determines your civil and legal and statutory status. Just stay in context. No disrespect. It does not determine your political status or nationality. Civil status or legal status. Civil, originally pertaining to or appropriate to a member of a civitas or a free political community. A free political community. So when you're a free political community, you can cast your free ballot, etc., blah, blah, blah. I hope y'all follow me. Natural or proper to a citizen, aka national. Also, not no foreign national. None of that crap. Don't get it twisted. Relating to the community or to the policy and government of the citizen and subject of a state. Civil status give you the ability to contract with other parties, including what? The government. When you see other bodies and groups, you might be at the mall and you might see only a certain group of people that's doing those janitorial jobs. And you might be like, well, man, a lot of them don't even speak English. Why? I'll tell you something. They got a government contract. They probably got that religious group body got a contract to do that type of work. Because it's work, a lot of stuff, government contracts work like that. Tribal contracts. But a lot of us just don't know a lot of those things. And that's okay. That's why we're here to learn. But politically and legally associate with groups you choose to associate with. Choose or nominate the civil government that you want to protect your rights to life, liberty, and property. This is where your jury of peers is established. Choosing a domicile is an act of political association that has legal consequences in which you nominate a specific municipal government to protect your rights and property. Watch how I break something down. I'm gonna show y'all where certain things they don't deal with church bodies and things. And they'll not always show y'all on The Sopranos why they deal with they priests, because that's lawyer and client confidentiality when they testify, and a lot of the business was through the church. And nobody never catch what I'm saying. But let's proceed because this is going to be real good. In other words, the local government laws that will govern you. This is why the Declaration of Independence says that all just powers of government are derived from the consent of what? The people. Those who do not concede to a civil municipality have no civil protection or real civil rights. You will be automatically presumed to have a statutory citizenship, aka 14th Amendment citizenship, aka civil mortis or civil death. And if don't nobody want to roll with that, then they're just making their own thing up as they go. But domicile is how you exercise rights. You know, you can choose where your domicile is and you can change it at any time. Stay in context because it's getting ready to get real good, y'all. You need this. You went to school for 12 years, to high school, to elementary. Some of us went longer through college and all this. Some of us still in school. So this should be good to you. But when you choose a domicile, you elect or nominate a what? Protector, which in turn gives rise to a what? Obligation to pay for the civil. Stay in context. The method of providing that protection is the civil law of the municipal, as in county, branch, temple, jurisdiction that you choose a domicile within. Divine constitution and bylaws, additional laws the Quran, general laws, supreme laws, rules, regulations. Just like how our temple and school set up is rules and regulations. It's a body of the prophet are the civil laws of the religious government, the Moorish Science Temple of America. What else? The BBT. Now, what does it all mean? Well, when one proclaims a nationality, your political status, your political rights is established. National of the United States of America, Moorish America, gives you the choice to associate with a political community. What you mean? A grand temple, a grand major temples, a branch temples, to establish your civil status, your legal status, your laws that will govern you. That's how the temples were set up, how they supposed to be in, you know, to where no matter what state or wherever you go, it's only one temple. It ain't gonna be no whole bunch of propaganda. But let's go a little further, you know, because this teaching is getting real good. Y'all all right? Y'all all right? Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got a little bit more. But as we go a little further, nationality gives your citizenship as a national. It didn't say you finna get nothing, or you talk about you finna give up your this, that, and the other. Talk about some oxymoron. Talking about you finna expatriate from this de facto government. We're not saying that. We're here for education purposes only. When you get this education, you should be clear. You should want to learn something divine. It should give your heart filled with joy, because that's the closest place to find Allah. A constitutional citizen. Citizens. When I said in this context, don't get all panicked up. He said citizens. If you understand what I'm saying, if you in a certain arena, and if you in the context, and if you know where I'm coming from, you don't have no problem with me saying that, because you understand the dynamics of where I'm coming from. They are members of a political community who, in their associated capacity, have established or submitted themselves to the dominion of a government. The religious body politic, aka the Moorish Science Temple of America, aka the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, by giving up some of their natural rights for the promotion of their general welfare and the protection of the individual, as well as the collective rights. When you research precedented law, Harriet versus City of Seattle. Citizen, one who under the Constitution and laws of the United States of America or of a particular state is a member of the political community owing allegiance. Allegiance is associated with nationality. Allegiance is what makes one a citizen, aka subject of a country, and being entitled to the enjoyments of full civil rights. But how you gonna get civil rights if you don't have human rights? I'm telling you, but that's a whole nother conversation. One, full civil rights are enforced through municipal civil law, okay, which in turn can only attach to one's choice of legal domicile. So, and for those who believe that being a private individual, watch this, or some call alien national, is going to protect you because you got this status by way of some paperwork, going through some publication things, or you through some UCC stuff, you just going to be a paper terrorist. You know? We're talking about you copy right to your name, and I get that. You got a power of attorney, etc., all this. I hear all that genre. You think you getting a small sum in value right now, but when private individuals, all you got to do is deal with precedented law, not what you think or having feelings, because feelings don't matter in this arena. But when private individuals of one nation, aka states of the nation, spread themselves through another as business or caprice may direct, mingling indiscriminately with the inhabitants of that other, or when merchant vessels enter for the purpose of trade, when everybody be talking about maritime or this military time or a certain type of time, when they talking about seafaring and all this stuff. And I say, oh, but we can't just be using catchphrases. You have to break things down, because we get those things, but break it down and make it for it can be applicable to a more today, so you can see what not to do. Not when nobody telling you right now, oh, your birth certificate, your social security number is attached to a whole bunch of $1 million. Okay, if that's the case, Why you don't have no $1 million and your feds filthy? No disrespect. Your feds is filthy, and you live in the YMCA, and you talking about you ain't never read the Moorish Quran. You coming to me with all that sovereign citizen criminality? That ain't Moorish science, and that's what I be telling people. That's an old game. That stuff, and that don't have nothing to do with Moorish. I know Europeans that came with that old hustle game. That's what I be telling people. Don't let nobody twist Moorish science up with that crap. As we proceed, you know. No one who believes that being a private individual or alien national is going to protect you because you got this status by way of paperwork. You know? You know? No way. When private individuals of one nation, when you do that, I told you the repercussion of that. You know? If an individual or merchant did not owe temporary and local allegiance and were not amendable to jurisdiction of the country, the implied license, therefore under which they entered, can never be construed to grant such exemption. The implied license under which private individuals of another nation enter to the territory and mingle indiscriminately, because that's what's happening, with its inhabitants for purpose of business or pleasure, can never be construed to grant to them an exemption from the jurisdiction of the country in which they are found. Just like when I tell a lot of people, a lot of times you go in things in contracts and you think you finna sue. Man, you better know the law. You ain't even read the law. A lot of stuff you willingly did. I always tell people about being willing obligors. You know, you didn't read the law. You know, and there's no excuse of not knowing the law. So even if you have done all this so-called paperwork, which these people be so caught up now, want some paperwork, and think you untouchable, like they say, you know, all because you failed to see that the Moorish Science Temple of America, the correct one, there is nothing but one. I don't care what nobody's saying today. It's only one temple. It's the only sole foundation where the Asiatic of North America will find his or her salvation under when you want to be part of the temple. But that's why I'm saying we can't, I tell everybody, we cannot recreate the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's why I have a school. And, you know, that's why I said we like that show. I was telling y'all, what is called again? Well, I call it where when you say you're a misfit, you just don't fit in. Why? Because you tried to find those temples. You saw all that rhetoric. So you got to come to where you accept it and be adopted into what? The real science. And then go and then walk amongst those that think they were born in it per se with that rhetoric, and they put their hand under their feet because all your superpowers come out. Understand what I'm saying? You got to be clear with this. You know? When you put that fez on your head, you should be proud and have a clear, basic understanding of wisdom. If not, I give you credit for just even putting it on, but you should want to know something. You know, for real. You ain't untouchable. You know, yeah. If the right one, you must proclaim, and you must be domiciled in your political community, a branch temple of the MSTA. So in our temple in school, we created it in the same particular fashion. Listen why I say that when your own people are trying to diss something, but give credit to something and miss the whole statement. If our prophet said he's going to leave the European here long enough to show you how to build a government, and I structure my temple in school in the fashion of ancient laws, which the prophet got, which he telling you the European did, I don't have to fashion the way I do things around Europeans. I fashion my way around ancient things the way the prophet did, the way the prophet telling you to look at something current, you know, and no one can say how we structured it is valid. Invalid, because it has to be, because we structured it in a certain fashion. That makes it valid. That's why I tell you that's be understanding, like, wait a minute, no, the brother formed a school in a fashion that makes it in that way. That's why I tell people, and you have to understand that. Act 1, additional laws, which is attached to one temple, your domicile. I hope brother's saying what I'm saying. When you adopt it, when you willingly be part of a body, When everybody say want to do everything on my own, okay, well, when you do everything on your own, you really on your own. You're not a part of a nation. You're not part of a AKA religious body. Understand this. You got to understand this, man. So I want us, like I said, I don't be here to diss things, but I'll be wanting to show stuff to people's faces because a lot of people are bringing old things to people and that may pass and say, oh, this card is going to do this and this is going to do that. And some clock of destiny and some zodiac law is going to make this, do this, do this. And I'm telling you, it's not. You're not. But I want you to hear something real fast as we close because I don't want to be too long. Listen to this. Now, I want to paint a picture. All must see where the authority lies. And that's with the Holy Prophet Noble Ali, sent from Allah to save us from the wrath of Allah. If he did something and brought something, then we got to give him credit. Now let's proceed. The prophets, one temple known as the Moorish Science Temple of America. That is why he put his face on the document. He is the seal on the charter. He is the Moorish Science Temple of America. And you cannot separate the two. Plus, he had to put his face on the documents so we would know the real one. He is a prophet. He saw all this coming. And even after he put his seal on all official record, laws, regulations, rules, organic law, Quran, ecclesiastical, and secular laws. That's why I tell people if you went to the temple, you have all your paperwork like me. You know, my chic paperwork, everything, because you're going to get it, no matter nobody like me or not. That's why I tell people, it don't matter to me. I say, when I went through the temple, I was on a mission. I wasn't all starstruck per se, or we finna do this. We ain't finna do nothing. You know, I'm here for a particular reason. You're going to have to do what you got to do or whatever, because that's your duty. If it's nothing to learn and you want to be a part of the temple, that's your right. As a brother going through the wisdom, anyone should accept you like I accept my brothers in my school. But let's proceed because this is going to be a good thing. That is why he put his face on the documents. He is the seal. He's the charter of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And you cannot separate the two. Plus, he had to put his face on the document so we would know the real one. He is the prophet, and he saw it coming. And even after he put his seal on all documents, laws, regulations, rules, organic law, Quran, ecclesiastical, and secular laws, still some choose to follow the so-called, no disrespect to no one, reincarnated so-called prophet. Because everybody want to call himself the reincarnated this. I ain't want to be no reincarnated nothing. The creator made me who I am. I'm Larry Goodman's son. I'm Kareem Goodman Bey. I'm Kareem Ibn Hakeem Goodman El Bey. I'm my father's son. I ain't no reincarnated nobody. The creator created me in his image. So all I got to do is do my father's business. I'm not reincarnated nothing, but this is what the teachings say. And this is who a lot of people call themselves reincarnated. A lot of people call themselves reincarnated, like C. Kirkman Bey, Lomax Bey, Dingle L, W. Far Muhammad. You know, y'all know who W. Far Muhammad is. Jeremy Bey, CM Bey, etc. And these are the facts. There's no disrespect to no one. People be out here playing favoritism, you know? So you have today brothers and sisters thinking they can do on their own. And that's why a lot of people get caught up. And they owe and they own thing with the prophet and then his laws and his succession. It's not enough to just put his name in your documents on websites, what a lot of people do. Bayer L attached to your acquired name, all these documents people making, you know? But etc. These your birthrights through the correct temple. When I'm saying things, because things can be done the right way. And then they be recognized by what? The state you live in. I just gave it to you. How? Because they can look it up through the records of the Moorish Science Temple of America. If you have the state booklet, if anybody been listening to anything I'm saying, if you get the document from the CCRD, you won't be disagreeing. You'll be like, yep, this is very simple. You'll be like, oh, I see. Y'all ain't updated y'all paperwork like, because you're not the temple. But about only people from the Moorish Temple can go in and change who so-called trustees or vestrymen. Now that's on that body. Oh, you're right. Sheik is right. I know. So it won't be it won't be no more misconstruedness or no nothing, because these things are simple. Just like with the BBT, if I go, it's going to be my brothers and simple, that the power of attorney, my nobles, that is going to go on past me, and they're going to be able to do the same work that I'm doing in the flesh. Why? Because we structured in that way. That's how. I hope people is catching this. That's why when people talk about, oh, this person, this, and that, and the other, and want to diss something, yes, just because you're from the temple and you have earned things through the temple, but it's life lessons, education that's going to make you proficient to wear the title well as sheik and teacher. But we almost done. But your dues, you listen to this, your cards. So if we a temple and we a school and we a body and we establish right, the Moorish Science Temple of America, y'all know I got my ID card, my tax exempt card, and my student ID card. But see, a part of Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, you guys have school ID. And that's saying who you are out of your mouth, for the record, your honor, per se, all in one. Look at the power of this. But let's proceed. Your dues, listen to what I'm saying. Your due card, establish your years. Listen to this science. Your due card, establish, this is what I wanted to show y'all, and listen to this power. Your due card, establish your years in the temple, in your local municipal government, by way of temple on the card and domicile at home office, per capita tax card. Show you are paying tax to your jurisdiction. Enumerates you as parcel and established jurisdiction to your body politic. That's why when I ask more, I tell, and even a person that want to get on a journey, study nationality and identification card. It's all there. And if any more or any brother I say that he is sheik, all he'll do is when I'm speaking to say Islam, because I already done showed it, and that don't make me right. I showed y'all you can't make up stuff how the prophet set things up. It's things set up a certain way. And when you look at it, it have to be explained a certain way. So did y'all catch what I just said, nobles, as we close?
Islam, Sheikh.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all catch that last part? He said, your due card, establish your years in the temple, in your local municipal government. So when you look in the state booklet, government, principality, ETE, ETC, all those things that mean the same, religious body. That's why your nationality and spirituality, this is the power of this. That's why when I tell people, oh, Moors don't pay taxes, this, the Moorish Science Temple of America, we got a tax ID number. If anybody on here saying they the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm telling you they lying, ain't no truth in them. If they get on here and say the Moorish Science Temple of America don't have a tax ID number, then I'm gonna tell you that they not part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. They might be a part of a fascist group that say they the Moorish Science Temple number, this, not, and the other. But if they don't have a tax exempt number, because it's only one, you can associate all the subordinate temples under one tax ID. It'll be branches of it, just like you have different local bodies of churches, etc. They only got one tax exempt number. So if you're doing work in another state, it ain't nothing but a form of paperwork that you got to get for that tax exempt number to be registered. I know this because I do real work. This is what I'm telling us. Today, we need to wake up and do things the right way. This is what I'm telling us, man. Y'all should see this. Do y'all have any questions?
Sheikh,
Yes, sir.
what's the difference between human rights and civil rights?
Well, that's a good question, because civil rights is a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong. When people be saying, oh, civil rights, the civil rights fight. But civil rights, it has to come from something. That should be the question that a student has. And I know you asking, you know the answer, but that should be the answer a student should always ask. Be like, okay, well, damn. Okay, well, what's the difference? Maybe it ain't no difference. You know?
Can you
Think
hear
about
me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you think about what I'm saying? Because to get one, you got to deal with the other. You hear me, Noble?
Islam, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Proceed.
Oh, all I could say is that I was saying that one other piece that can add on to it is that, for human rights, to be, for you to have human rights, you have to be considered alive, So one has to be alive. So you have to go into a teacher now and say, well, are you alive? Would you be considered as alive? And if you aren't considered as alive, why wouldn't you be considered as alive?
Mm-hmm.
So why would you have to substantiate a reason to have human rights, meaning as a quote unquote person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a fact that you're there establishes the fact that you're alive. But what we're talking about when it comes to a political state, someone can claim someone saying that you are not in fact alive.
Mm-hmm.
So for human rights, I would have to say, well, if you have to struggle and petition for civil rights, and we say that the civil rights
Go pathway in that area.
I'm around there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that if that's the case, what were you before that?
Come on, Noble. Come on.
I'm just saying, if somebody thinking, I ain't trying to give you the answer.
Right.
I'm just asking a general question, like, well, damn. Let me
Yes.
think about that.
Yes.
Islam.
Yes. Yes. And this is where we at today. Even a person that's going to be, that's like I said, I don't diss the temple. A lot of people that say the temple this and that, no, but it's structured how the prophet did things. If you from the temple, it's certain things that's going to make it plain on your ID card. It's going to be certain things that make it plain on your paperwork and your baptism paper. It's going to be the same. It's going to be there. Now, a person might make a typo, and you might have a clerical mistake and all there, but the paperwork is going to be the same. It's going to come from the body, this, that, and the other. Why? That's why it's only going to be a certain few people that's going to teach it the right way, and don't be trying to tell you they got some power to do this and to do that, because clearly we know it's not right. But the end it all, where we don't get caught up in money and notes, y'all. Money and notes, I want to make this clear. It does not make you. It's your national standards. It's your association and the power. Establish your own municipal government. Don't y'all know your religious body is a government per se? When people don't be understanding, it's good to be a part of a religious body. Read your state booklet. Read how the temple is set up. We got to understand if we're going to let all other people use the power. And the prophet just said he left certain people behind you to show you how to run a government. It just ain't no political government. It's a religious government too. You got to understand this. You got to understand it, why, or it wouldn't be set up a certain way. When you read the Silent Brotherhood of the East and you talk about the seven sages, that that's why when I have vision, I want people to read things and start having a light bulb moments, because it start connecting when you can start seeing it clearly with your eye. How the teaching speak for itself if your heart is pure. It lines up, and it's the prophet left no stone unturned. That make a man a nation. The wealth of all nation governments, gold, silver. What creditor deal in? Commerce, uniform commercial code belongs to what? The citizen alone. And without your national citizenship, by name and principle, the holy and divine laws, you have no true wealth. So when have a Negro ever been a citizen in the United States? You should say never. We should understand that Dred Scott in 1864. So what, just like, and I go back to what Noble Alonzo said, once again, what were you called before this? What were you called with this? So what gives him or her the right to act as a citizen, a first class in commerce? You ain't never caught that? You ain't a first class in the regular world, so we deal with commerce. Oh, no, so you're a first class in commerce? No, you ain't. You don't even know how you are in the real world. You a tin man. You don't even understand this Wizard of Oz. Boy, go have a seat. Are you understanding what I'm saying, Noble Alonzo?
Indeed, Chief.
Doing business as a national one who holds the credit of a nation. Is it? You should know. Also claiming to be a sovereign. When these Moors do that, you went from a Negro to sovereign. That's crazy. By way of commerce, by way of UCC, you should be asking yourself these questions. Because Negroes don't have no right to do commerce, where you had to be a true citizen to fully use that body of law. You see? Remember, money does not make a man. Money and interments used to what? In commerce is free national standards to make a man. A man, you were 3/5 a man. A free national standards are nationality and what? Divine creed. The two parts were missing from your status to make you a man and human. So I want y'all to get that, man, because I got so much more academic, you know. But I want to leave y'all with some precedented cases for you can take home and think about. I have like a few of them. Let me get to them for you can research them. When I say the religious laws always trump things, let's see, can I pull it and find it? If y'all know where it's at and y'all get there and y'all got it in y'all studies, please pull it up because I want to end on that note. Let's see, the national citizenship, bottom of your ID, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Because because I want people to have, okay, I think I found it. Oh, it's so vital, but I've been going for almost 2 hours, but we went to school for forever and learned wrong. But I want to give this to y'all and whoever in the world that need it. I don't want to give what the prophet was saying, but because our prophet prepared by the great God to warn our people, we know all that. But the political right, real civil rights within religious body politic, unmolested by other citizens. The prophet warning to the nation, Friday, November 30th, 1928. One also becomes a constitutional citizen or citizen in a common law or constitutional sense by being born, implies nationality or naturalized in a country and exercising their First Amendment rights of political association by voluntarily choosing a national, proclaiming your nationality and a municipal domicile in that country. So let us tie in the checkmate move that our prophet put in. Listen to this for all these brothers that don't understand words and they be lost in translation. Religion. For all those bandwagon haters of religion, all of a sardine. While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning, when we say Islam, we ain't talking about our Islam, which was founded by our forefathers of our earthly and divine salvation. It's in your most holy Quran in prophecies 67 and 68, verse 8. You can find that in your Exhumed of the Nation when you go to ayats and the prophecies of the prophet. It's in there. But the temple, the ecclesiastical and the secular laws for Moorish Americans, you know, you can also look in black laws for in the Quran, the Mohammedan book of faith. It contains the ecclesiastical and the secular laws. Our authority, the Moorish Zion Temple of America, deriving its power and authority from the great Quran of Muhammad to propagate the faith and extend the learning and the truth of the great prophet of Ali in America. Now listen to this good point as we close. In these modern days, there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name was what? Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to be prepared. Marcus Garvey was the forerunner, just like in your Bible, John the Baptist was the forerunner, the harbinger, to meet the coming prophet who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah, etc. You know, don't want to stay too far in that. But I want to give y'all this part to hold on to, nobles. The entire structure of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the entire structure of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple of America is religious, its citizens, its laws, customs, duties, rules, regulations. Why the Bay and L you hold is religious? Because all is under a religious body politic, a nation. Understand this word dynamics. You have to have a clear understanding before you did something. You have to have all the tools to make a sound decision. The law holds up our authority, our corporation religious affidavit of organization, the Religious Corporation Act. I told y'all, the 101099 is the religious affidavit. Chapter 32, 164, section 35. Any church, congregation, or society formed for the purpose of religious worship may become incorporated in the following and may adopt a corporate by name. It shall and remain. It shall and remain a body politic and corporate by the name so adopted. What do other laws say about religion? This is what I wanted y'all to get as we close. The Religious Freedom and Restoration Act. You got to look these things up. This is checkmate for all these Moors. When they want to act like they don't fall under certain laws, but then they want to use some laws that they say that they don't abide by. They don't know to try to defend themselves. That is the stupidest thing in the world. That's just like driving on the highway without insurance in your Fred Sanford truck and say a Walmart truck hit you and you like, ooh, I'm finna sue. Okay, and because they injured me. Okay, but if you hit somebody, what? They can what? Oh well, I'm an alien. I'm a Moorish alien. I ain't hit nobody. Crazy. Religious Freedom and Restoration Act. As we close, listen to this. The Supreme Court has found exercise to be burdened when laws interfere with a particular religious practice or ceremony. Gonzalez versus O Centro Espirita. Give you the law, give you the precedented law case and a doc number. Courts may not decide matters of church doctrine or governments. Courts may not decide matters of church doctrine or governance. The only way they can decide if you want the faith-based initiative. And ain't that funny, Noble Bryan, that the three-letter acronym is what? FBI?
That is quite a coincidence.
Kendra versus St. Nicholas Cathedral, you know, U.S. versus Ballard, 1944. The courts found that neither the courts nor the government have the right to evaluate the religious beliefs of a citizen or group. Watson versus Jones. Courts may not interfere in matters of church doctrine, discipline, or policy. But you talk about you ain't under no religion. Your religious rights will stop you from participating in some governmental things. You stupid, well, I won't say that, crazy. None of my Amish brothers and sisters or Mormons, they don't participate in nothing. They don't stand for certain things because they don't participate in those things. Why? Because the religion that they under, it trumps all the rest of the stuff. This is facts. You got to know this. The First Amendment rests upon the premise that both religion and government can best work to achieve their lawful aims if each is left free from the other. Did y'all hear that? Within its respective sphere. Did y'all hear these ancient laws? So when they bring religion into schools like they're trying to do now, so if they're going to bring religion in school, well, all that's going to happen is just like the academia is pseudo. So then the spirituality is going to be pseudo too. And they're going to control that. They're going to control the food. They're going to control that. We have to step up. That's the importance of the work we're doing. Jurisdiction, Justice Hugo, Black, McCullen versus Board of Education. So according to the United States Supreme Acts of the state, to wit, every sovereign state, aka a body of people, is bound to respect the independence of every other sovereign state, aka a body of people, and the courts of another country will not sit in judgment on the acts of the government of another, done within its own territory. Also, where rights are secured by Constitution are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation which would abrogate them. The claim and the exercise of constitutional rights cannot be converted into a crime. Oh my God. Did y'all hear what that just said? That's the important. The claim and the exercise of constitutional rights cannot be converted into a crime. Miller versus Kansas. So when people be like, oh, he talk about your civil rights or your constitutional rights, that can't be converted into a crime. Think about that. That's precedented law. Now, if you talk about overthrowing the government, that's different. But exercise of constitutional rights cannot be converted into a crime. So your constitutional rights is what? You have a right of a nationality and the right to claim it. And to claim a child replaces the birth certificate. And no one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. The SF 181 form, all the Declaration of all this stuff. You see? Missionaries, Moors, nobles, we are missionaries, man or woman. Piece it together, y'all. Can you not see your earthly and divine salvation the holy prophet gave us, which I'm putting in your face in the flesh as a map and a guide? The teachings must stay out in front. You don't got to honor me. It's the teachings, because it's the science. It stands fact and alone. And all this stuff comes by way of our nationality. So I want us just to have a clear understanding of that, man. Any questions, man? Nationality is always the order of the day. It's not nothing illegal, but it must be talked about and explained, because it's all type of Moors. This globe is big. We got all type of holy books. And this is what I want people to understand. And being a Moor or understanding more science, you can't say you know all science if you don't understand more science, because if you do, then you accept and you respect all the laws and the prophets. You have a clear understanding and you operating in love. So that's all I got, man. I thank y'all for taking time out y'all day. I know we was a little extended today, but I wanted to teach a specific topic because I was asked, and when people ask me to do things that follow and that support and that give donations, I got to amend to that, and I have to do that. This was a question that's a group of brothers asked. I'm in Michigan, and they were like, Noble, we have these questions. And I cleared it up. I don't diss the temple. I say a lot of these temples, a lot of stuff is not happening. So if you want to learn, like Suge Knight said, come to the BBT. You can come learn. You can come learn. We'll teach you about the feds. You can wear your national headdress. You can be a part of a community, a nation, and do things the right way. So with that, I say Islam, amen, peace, 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 shalom, alaikum, all that good stuff. Anybody got anything?
Yeah, so just kind of like a capstone. So basically nationality, without nationality, that person really can't pass go. And if you go, you know what I'm saying, without getting that in order, it's almost like you'll be pulled back by that rubber band, or you'll be slingshotted back.
Man, Brian, as I go back to my beginning statement that I said, European, Albion, Trailerdyke, whatever you want to call them, didn't they fought for their so-called Jewish identity? Hell, they fought so hard to say that they were the Egyptians, and then the world had to apologize. So if people fought like that, and I said it ain't no crime or your constitutional human rights of who you are, the law said it. You have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. Nationality is the order of the day. It didn't say man-made religion is the order of the day, because we are who our foremothers and forefathers are. So if we can trace our foremothers and forefathers to the teachings, and I just use Islam and Christianity and say those are ancient teachings, then that means we got to go back to the ancient teachings. Hell, the nation of Islam, they said Far Muhammad is the Mahdi for the Muslims and the Christians. That means, and then in the teachings I said it's going to be a time that the Christians and the Muslims stop all that. You see what I'm saying? So understanding who we are, nationality, yes. As a people, yes. That's why I'm going to always stand proud of that. Yes, nationality is the order of the day. Yes, we have a misunderstanding of spirituality. We have a misunderstanding, because a lot of our churches and stuff, they don't teach. Bible study is just a repeated thing. Sunday school is just a repeated thing. We have a lot of people that's hacking, even in more science. It's not about reading a whole bunch of old documents and saying who the supreme is. No, it's about understanding how to build something, how to bring these young kids, bring these young nobles up, how to own land, for they can be homeowners and own things in the community that we may have left. Like a lot of us in our 40s and whatever, we got young families coming up in communities to show them how, hell, you know how to work with your hands. Now we have the skills and the withal in the brain to know how to go to these certain areas under our religious body and get these pieces of land, get these homes under our religious body. That's going to be under a different tax code, and learning how to structure ourselves. That's what this is about. Remember, I tell y'all, we a school. In the Egyptian time, you think they was in the temples just in there doing some kumbaya and all that stuff they was doing? Architecture, building them buildings, how people don't even know how they figured out how to do it yet. They try to say the giants did it, which I understand giants. I don't laugh at giants, but because the Smithsonian hid that, and I had a documents of that. But what I'm saying is the brain, the science of what you done as a group. That's why I'm saying what I'm here to do at the BBT. Man, I'm not here to argue about nobody religion, because I'm under all that. I have a clear understanding. I'm not finna diss my brother that might have been in the same house with us, but went off and then and say me, the other brother, we went off. I created this, he created that, but we under the same teachings. When we come together, when we look at y'all, be like, what the hell y'all fighting for? Like I'll be like, are y'all crazy? Like we from the same house. The Ishmaelite, I told you, like, we brothers. We let others draw a line down our back. This is what I'm saying. Me and my dad had these conversations. How a group of people in a certain area, and then you gonna split us up like that? That means you're gonna take the power, and you're gonna be able to have people come in, and that's where you got militia, and that's where you get genocide come from. A whole bunch of other people come in and just murder a whole group of people that look just like them. See, these is facts. You know.
Islam.
And so that's where I'm at with this science today, man. Noble Bryant. I tell everybody, like, being a Moor, it's not no Islam, it's not dissing Christianity. You have to understand it, you know, and we're here to give brothers clear understanding. Our fez don't mean no Islam. Our Kufi don't mean no Islam. The follower of Yahshua wore a Kufi, a bonnet. The followers of Yahshua, the high priest, wore a turban with the jewel on it. The fez is your national headdress that a lot of other groups adopted, like the European Mason and the misnomer Black Masons. And that's why your brothers that's in Masonry, they wear it in clandestine. It's a secret to the world. They'll never come out in the world and display the science, because a plethora of them under lower level snowman wisdom, 32 and 33 degrees, the mystic Prince Hall, a lot of them just don't have that science. And you have to get it under the Moorish perspective. That's the only way it's going to come. That's the only way you're going to get it. Unless your so-called potentate is a Moor in your lower level science, and I don't know why he would be a lower level 32 degree. That'd be backwards, and that means he'll either be holding something back or playing a real crazy game. So great question, Brian, and great demonstration of that. Anybody got any other question after we close? Anything? Please, this is the time. I know we've been on here for 2 hours, but this is the time. If anybody got any question or any statement, let's get it out. We done been in school. We done been dealing with this all our lives. And just this little time, we got a nice understanding. So do any of my muftis, any of my brothers, do y'all got anything? Y'all got a clear understanding?
Islam, all clear. Just gratitude once again for the teachings and the illumination.
Gratitude, Brian. I give you love and honor and that to everybody. But if Europeans fought for their Jewish so-called nationality, why can't we? It's not illegal. We should be fighting for that. Not arguing over no man-made religion, because we have a clear understanding. We say, calm down, little tink, but we want to tell you who you are, because we are the scriptures. We all in the biblical book. We're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. True. Would every more say true. So do the tribe of Judah, lineage of David, do they got holy books? They'll say, yep. So if the tribe of Judah, lineage of David of blood, by blood, got holy books, which is the Bible, how are we going to diss the biblical scriptures? That we can't diss the biblical scriptures. So with that being said, man, I give y'all love and honor and peace, man.
Islam.
Noble Alonzo or somebody, can we get our Moorish American prayer? I don't know if Noble Alonzo is available to give us our benediction, but can we get our Moorish American prayer? And then if Alonzo not available, if one of y'all have our benediction, can you give us our benediction and we up out of here?
Islam, I give the Moorish American prayer. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayash Ayat, Hotep, Islam, Amen. Peace.
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Noble.
Islam, I just want to add a correction before we get the benediction, because we said that the Civil Rights Act or the Civil Rights Bill was signed in 1965, but that was incorrect. But we was civil rights when we took about 1866. 1866. So when you go back into your notes and your research, when y'all look up civil rights law, then y'all know it's in 1866. But there was a a review or what you would call a ratification 1964 was more or less. But what we were aiming at was the fact of making persons citizens. Adding persons to citizens, that was 1866. So we know that in the studies within the more science, where Prophet brought forth, when he talks about even in the Zooming of the Nation, why was there a need for the 14th, 15th Amendment when the 13th Amendment already should accomplish everything? So I just wanted to clarify that, making that 1866.
Islam,
So when y'all
gratitude.
do that study on 1863 manumissions, so make sure you had that to your studies. Islam. But by closing benediction, it reads as follows: May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shalt strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield and the manifest battles of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the locks of the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, for behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad. And at the BBT, when we say Al-Haq, that's Arabic and it stands for the truth. And when we say Ya Muhammad, that's Arabic and also one of the illustrious attributes of Allah, and it stands for the protector. We at the BBT see ourselves as truth protector. And we cast our net out to all true and divine light seekers to come and join on to us. For the truth has no size. For the truth is one, as man is with Allah. And with that, we say peace and love. Islam. Peace, 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 peace,
Peace. Peace and love, family.
peace and love.
Nationality is the order of the day. You are not Negro, Black, colored, or African American.
Islam.
Gratitude. Take us out, B.
Attitude and love.
My pleasure.
MyPDFBooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast is brought to you by MyPDFBooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by BindedBooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your herbs and teas at my son's teas, the tea of teas, divinely prepared. Be sure to check out some of the musical stylings by BH Bay Music. That's bhbaymusic.com. Also, for your everyday items and religious regalia, check out MoorishHaberdasher.com. And for that e-special everyday Moorish drip, be sure to check out Moorsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today. With that, fam, Islam, amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seed sowing, harvest reaping, man of me or me. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dream. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun. It's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece.
Yeah.
Living
Go.
like a god, I
Go.
live at night, I
Go.
rest in peace.
Go.
They
Go.
remember me, but
Go.
I am not
Go.
around
Go. That's so fire. Peace and love, family. Love y'all, man.
Islam, peace and love.
Peace and love.
Have an excellent evening.
You too, Noble.